So the more I think about Ralph Breaks the Internet, the more I'm confused about the giant plot holes. Namely, and spoiler alert, why are we ignoring the fact that Vanellope went turbo? If you don't remember, turboing is a slang verb used in Wreck-It Ralph because the title character from the game Turbo went crazy and forced his way into other racing games, which caused them to crash and ruin the games. Everyone in the first movie was terrified that Ralph was going turbo, and frankly, he did go and turbo up Sugar Rush and almost screwed up Hero's Duty too, but because it all resolved well in the end, Ralph gets forgiven and treated like nothing was wrong with his actions. And don't get me wrong here, I 100% empathize with why Ralph sort of snapped and went into other games, but I'm sure Turbo would have been really sympathetic too if we had seen the movie from his perspective. Ralph is a straight up villain. If you really think about it, the idea of turboing a game makes some sense. All the characters are made up of coding, and both movies confirm this. So if your coding is different from the type of game you're in, all you're gonna do is essentially crash the game. So how is it that Vanellope isn't worried about turboing Slaughter Race? Seriously, her coding is what causes the game to crash. But then Shank breaks into the game code and adds Vanellope into it. What? She's from a game that Mr. Litwack himself calls old. Her code is not up to par with a 3D MMO, and her glitching presents a horrific potential to wreck the game again. We even see that happen when Ralph releases a cloning virus into Slaughter Race. Now granted, that hack happened because of Ralph's intervention, but hackers and viruses are everywhere! Even if that game never gets a virus again, Vanellope's glitching could corrupt the game too. And that has to be an issue for her because Vanellope leaves Slaughter Race believing that she's the one who crashed it. And I bet you her time playing around in Tron is what destroyed that game too. She's not the right type of racer to play in either of those games. That means Vanellope's code is not safe in an online game. Eventually, everyone's gonna move on to the next hot game until the developers shut down the server, and then what? Vanellope just stops existing? She lives in the erratic internet? She suddenly goes back to Litwack's arcade and hopes that Sugar Rush is still plugged in or else just live with Ralph? This is all a very scary, unstable situation for Vanellope, especially since racing games frequently get new sequels every year or so, and Vanellope won't exist for the programmers to move her character over. Slaughterhouse is basically a death sentence for Vanellope. And does it bother anyone else that the movie acknowledges that it takes place 6 years after the original, yet Vanellope's already sick of her game? You know, the game she spent years trying to get to race in, not to mention the very same game that she admitted to loving after it got unplugged. True, I understand that the other racers weren't very nice to her, and it's hard to be somewhere that you feel unwanted, but that was all before the kids were adopted by Calhoun and Felix. Now they're much nicer. You guys, I think Vanellope's code is still corrupted from Candy King's tampering. A game like that can't really reset until it's been unplugged and plugged back in. So what if a new Vanellope who doesn't know Ralph or anything about the past gets respawned when the system is plugged back in? What if that's what Sour Bill meant? Whoa. But even if that is the case, I truly believe that Vanellope's programming has changed or otherwise been infected by Turbo, and now Vanellope is subconsciously out to spread her glitch to other games. It's now her core directive, and she's compelled to play other games until they break because her code could never fully heal. If it had, how could she still glitch? It might not be reality, but theories are more fun! Well, that's all I have for now, but this video's not quite over yet. I get a lot of comments that say, do a theory on this topic, but I've already done those theories. So please consider going to my main channel page and clicking on the video tab so that way you can see everything I've done. You will probably find a lot of things you like that you never even knew that I posted. I want to let you know that I also have 2 other channels, Say Halo Goodbye Gaming and the Family Vlogs. Thank you so much for for watching, and I hope you enjoyed enough to hit subscribe and share. I can use all the help I can get to let other people know that this channel exists. And if you made it this far, leave me a comment that says something like, "Hey, I made it to the end," and then let me know what kind of videos you want to see in the future. I can't make any promises, but the more people that request something, the more I can look into it. Okay, well, I love you. I'll see you in the next video.